Hello and welcome to a very special edition of the Happiness Is podcast with me, your host, Bruce Aitchison from Happiness Egg Shaped. And today is another one in our long list of Doddie specials. And I've got one of his old mates from way back in the days where Doddie still claims he's from Melrose, but we all know he's Stow and Cortleferry, Stuart Thom, who is relentless in his fundraising and his awareness raising for the My Name'5 Doddie Foundation. And we've also got a newbie on me. Never met him before, but I love his smile, love his enthusiasm, and I think he is one of the most gullible buggers on the planet because he seems to only be able to say yes when he's asked a question for some kind of ridiculous endurance event. Budge Poutney, that's right, Budge Poutney, old teammate of Doddie, and I'm sure there are some stories to tell. So let's not waste any more time and bring in Stuart Thom and the one and only Budge Poutney. Gentlemen, how good to see you.
Afternoon, Bruce.
Afternoon, Bruce. How are you?
Yeah, very, very well. I'm excited by this because you two dafties have done things that I will never, ever say yes to. Stu, you've just run 5 marathons in 5 days. Why?
I blame Nigel Carr. As you know, Bruce, we've done some of the cycles and we did one round Ireland last year. And halfway through it, I said to Nigel, right, we're going to do another one next year. And he said, it's getting a bit boring, this cycling. Why don't you do something different? So on a few beers one night after the cycle, he said, why don't you do a bit of running? I said, okay. And then it grew arms and legs. And 5 and 5, as you probably well know, Doddie number 5, and Kevin Sinfield did 7 and 7 for Rob. So thankfully, he wasn't a standoff like yourself. Otherwise, we'd be absolutely goosed by now.
So, Budge, you get a message from Stuart to say we're going to do 5 marathons in 5 days. What was going through your mind there?
You know what? I thought when I got the message. So, to give you a bit of background, we did this ridiculous bike ride from Malin to Mizenhead, and it was something like, what was it, 350 miles in 2 days?
A day and a half. Yeah, 2 days.
A day and a half. I'd never sat on a bike, not a road bike. I had to borrow Simon Danielli's bike. I had to borrow his clip-on shoes, and these boys taught me how to cycle in the car park. And I've never been in so much pain in my whole life, like for 48 hours basically. And then Stu kept on badgering me. He said, right, come on. You need to go on another bike. And I said, look, mate, I'm not going anywhere near a bike ever again in my whole life. You can stick it up. You can stick it somewhere where it don't shine. And then he came up with this 5 and 5. And you kind of go, well, I couldn't really refuse because I'd already said I don't want a bike. And I thought, well, in my naivety, I thought, well, it's just running. We'll just run. It'll be all right. And I think, to be fair, the naivety and stupidity of it all kept us all going through the whole thing. So yeah, couldn't refuse it.
That is stunning. Stu, you've obviously known Doddie a long, long time, and you've been relentless in your support way back when you started the pub quizzes weekly, and then it's just gathered from there. What are you up to now? Over 180 grand you've raised?
Well, the last event, the 5 and 5, we did a dinner at the end of it down here at the golf club, and we did some raffle stuff. So with that and the Just Giving pages we had set up for that, we're all well over 200 grand now. So the 5 and 5 was just over 30,000, and there's still donations coming in. So yeah, it's what I said, individually we can do a lot, but collectively, and it's so much easier getting someone like Budge involved. And then I had my, sister-in-law's brother involved, people in Edinburgh. And I honestly don't know, Bruce, why people still say yes. I honestly don't know. But, and again, the guys, we're going around Wales on the bike in September, and about 8 people who did Ireland are coming back to do Wales. So we either must be doing something right or everybody's slightly unhinged. I don't know, but we all know Doddie, and we're doing it for him and the wider community. So yes,
I think you've probably summed up Doddie there, that he's a bit unhinged, but he likes doing stuff together. But you know Doddie not for probably as long as Stu, but it's hard to say no in something in his name, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, Doddie's a great guy. You know, he was a brilliant teammate. He was a laugh a minute. I don't think Doddie would sign up for 5 and 5 ever in his whole life. I think he'd look at it and go, no, I'm not doing that. But I think it you know, like Stu said, it's a collective response to MND, to what Doddie's going through, but also to what, you know, a large part of the population goes through as well. And I think we said this at the dinner, for as long as, well, Stu said it really, summed it up really well, for as long as we've got 2 legs and the ability to run or cycle or do something that raises the awareness of Doddie and MND, then we continue to do it. And I think that's really important to remember. And it's it was everyone, you know, the guys that did it from all walks of life. Some that had run marathons before, so they were probably the clever ones because they knew what was going on. And then some idiots that were going, yeah, well, we'll run 5 marathons, dead easy. Let's crack on with it. But you know, that was the beauty of it, and that was the beauty of the challenge. So yeah, something that we're all of us able people, and you know, we should be doing something to raise awareness on all these sort of cruel diseases like MND.
And I hear there's a train and run story. I'm not sure who's best to tell us this story.
Well, as Budge said, everything was done through WhatsApp. Once I'd nailed him in, and then as the group got bigger and bigger, the group got bigger and bigger. I decided about 3 weeks out, Budge, maybe we should actually do a train together. So Budge lives about 10 miles from me. So one Sunday morning, I arrived at Budge's house, you know, fully kitted out, and Budge looked quite fresh as well. And he got out the house, and I looked at him, he looked at me, and it's like, what the are we doing? We this is just stupid. I said, right, how far are we going to go? I said, no, I don't count miles. I just take it on how far I run or how long. I said, okay, we'll do an hour and a half. So off we went down the coastal path, literally out here, headed 45 minutes and 45 coming back. So everything was fine, chatting away. And Budge's house is, we now call it Budge's steps, because steps up to his house. And we ran past it so many times on the marathons, and you know, it's like a wee puppy dog looking at the door. I want to stop. So anyway, I got in the car. I said, right, Budge, that was cool. We'll catch up next week. So I went home, and Kerry said, how was it? I said, fuck, great, Budge. He's all over it. You know, we kept up and we're chatting away. He's fine. Budge had gone home and said to Ali, and Ali, it's his wife, said, how was she? Said, oh, it was awful. So unbeknown to us both, I was going, this is great. Confidence in Budge. We've got it nailed. Budge is at home saying, oh my God.
he shot off. He shot off like a flipping hare. Like, and he was talking to me. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. I was going, I can't do this. I can't run at this pace and talk. It's ridiculous. So I came back and I said, well, there's probably 1 or 2 things I could do, and that's probably give them all 20 kilograms and strap that on their back, and then they know what it feels like to be me, or just let them go. Just let them go and that's essentially what happened. So every kind of marathon, we started off, and Stu would go in the morning, go, yeah, we're going to run together, team effort. We're on this. After about a mile, I don't think I even saw them for the rest of the marathon. Stu used to give me a finish point. He said, we're finishing here. And so that was it. You know, I'd make my way back there, finish, done.
And neither of you had run a marathon before. Neither of you had gone anything like that distance before. So, Budge, the wall came for you a mile in. Stu, where was the wall for you?
Well, the other guy that is said we got involved, which is my sister-in-law's brother, who was roped in at the very, very last minute. He about 6 weeks out. And we got through half a marathon on day one, and we sort of high-fived and said, that is it. That is the furthest we've all run or ever. So, yeah, the wall part was 13 miles. But
I haven't got a clue.
But it was...
Was that 45 minutes in, an hour in? I don't know. I don't have a clue.
We even had Sean Longstaff.
Yes, I was going to bring up Sean Longstaff.
I'll let you continue.
Oh my God! So Sean is built for high speed short distances, not necessarily built for marathon running. And he's got a sore knee, or he proclaims to have a sore knee. Anyway, he was given it the big I am, because he lives around the corner from me, and he's going, well, yeah, I'll come and do a bit of running, right? Okay, so he turns up on the first day to get in the pictures, to go, classic winger. Turns up, he bought himself a brand new spanking pair of trainers, hadn't he?
145 quid,
yeah, classic long stuff. And then he runs, and he goes, I'm going to run 5K. That's it. He got 5K and stopped. Got picked up by his wife. Like, brilliant. Top effort, mate. Top effort.
Did he get a lift to the finish line so he could get the pictures there as well?
No, he didn't get that far. But he should have seen him, Bruce. He had these brand new trainers on, which 3 or 4 inch heels. He had his headband on, and he had the tightest shorts you could probably ever imagine. He looked like a white version of Mr. Motivator. He was just. You see the picture of him sitting in the end, and he's just. And his Budge said, he said, "Right, how far are you going to, Sean? 5K." And I was running with him, and all you hear is a beep beep. And he's literally stopped. What are you doing? That's my 5K. It's like he wouldn't even run an extra K or anything. Nope, that's it. 5K.
Yeah.
But you have to say, he did the second day, he did get on his, he turned up on his brand spanking new mountain bike.
There's a theme. There's a theme here.
There's a theme here. Yeah, all the gear, no idea. And it turns up to where at the meeting point, falls off his mountain bike immediately. and then cracks on and is part of the support crew for the second day. So fair dues to him.
Is this just an attempt to be back in a team and back in a changing room? Is this what you're holding on to? We're just going to keep coming up with things to do so I could get the boys together.
As much it was despite running away and going in front of Budge. It was horrendous from day one. It was, it's what we said. You wake up on the Sunday morning and you think, oh, the back sore or the knee sore, and then you start running and think, well, you forget about that because something else is sore. But it was horrendous from day one. At least on the bike, despite what Budge says, you feel you can chat a lot more. But every mile, every kilometer, it was like
that is a lie. I did not shout on that bike. All you lot told me was look at the back wheel of somebody in front of you, because you do not want to know what's ahead of you. And that's essentially what I did for 2 days, is look at somebody's back wheel.
So have you heard from Doddie through all of this nonsense?
He sent us a lovely message because, as I said, we had a dinner on St. Patrick's Day down here at the golf club to celebrate the achievement, and everybody came together, the 6 of us that did it, and he sent a message. So, yeah, it makes it all more worthwhile when you see a message or hear a message from Doddie, because there was a guy that came over and did some of the cycling, Rob, who did the cycle around Ireland. He lost his wife with M&D 7 years ago. So there's connections everywhere, and you just see how everybody comes together. And Doddie, there's not many ambassadors or people in the foundation will take the time out to send you a message, when I know how difficult it is for Doddie to get words and things going. But yeah, it was lovely to hear from him. It really was.
Budge, when you heard this news, when it first came out about Doddie, what was the emotion for you, someone who'd played with him and shared some moments that are just between you and your teammates? How did that feel? Yeah,
it's like if it happens with any of your best mates or with any of your teammates, it's you kind of go through quite a few sort of emotions. It's a kind of devastation, then a bit of realization that okay, this is going to be a good old challenge for Doddie, and then it's kind of action. Really, it's what can we do to help you? How can we help you? What are we going to do? And it almost kicks into everybody comes together again, and you get that whole sort of camaraderie, team ethos coming through. All the Scotland team, got together. Whichever era that Doddie had spanned across, all the teams got together and got onto it really, really quickly. And I think that the most important thing is the continuation of that, and how that is, everybody's driven it continually. Johnny's mate, like Stu, is continually driving it. You look at Rob Wainwright continually driving himself into the ground, idiot. Although he's done no marathons. So it's a case that we'll keep going. We'll keep going and going, and we'll keep that awareness going. And hopefully, in the long term, the long days ahead, we'll find a cure or find something that will slow up MND and the effects of MND.
I think Rob Wainwright's probably my Stuart Thom, or Stuart Thom to you is my Rob. When I see his name come up in my display, I'm like, oh no, what does he want now? But as you say, he's never asked me to run a marathon, so he's all right by me.
Not yet.
So Stu, Budge has just said we're going to keep going. How on earth are you going to keep going? What else have you got up your sleeve? I mean, I could just tell by this cheeky grin on your face, you've got nonsense planned, and Budge is now cowering in the corner.
But Budge, yeah. Well, we've got the as we call it, the Great Rugby Cycle. We try and do one of those a year, and that's Wales, September this year, which Budge is not signed up for yet. So one of Budge's good friends came over and ran the first marathon with us, a guy called Luke. And we got talking, and we came up with this wonderful idea. So this is 2023. It's going to be called Try to the Final. So we're going to go from London to Paris and using all modes of transport. And being a true Scotsman, we're not going to pay for anything. So we're going to do a bit.
This sounds easy, Buzz. You're going to drive. You're going to train, plane, ferry. This sounds easy. I'm in. Yeah.
So sign him up, Stu.
The plan is to try and keep the 5 teams. So we're going to swim 5,555 meters in the pool, hopefully the aquatic pool at London. Run half a marathon. That's day 1. Day 2, run about 30 miles, I think it is. And then day 3, we're going to run whatever the last distance is to Dover. And then John Davidson, a good supporter of Doddie, is going to support us by giving us some boats. So we're going to row across the channel. and then when we get to Cali, we've got a nice easy 180 miles on the bike. So hence triathlon, and that will take us to the Thursday of the final week of the Rugby World Cup. So that is in the pipeline for 2023. So
utterly ridiculous.
Well, listen. Budge said, right, okay, I don't like running, I don't like cycling. I can't.
No, I didn't say I don't like running. I like running, but not like ridiculous running like we've just done.
So yeah, that's it. So Budge is our Scottish legends. We're trying to get big Carl Hayman to come back from New Zealand, and then try and get an English and Irish. We'll try and get Trimble or we Paul Marshall, and then we'll get a Welsh.
Could you get somebody that's gonna be not ultra fit, like you get Paul Marshall and Trimble. Like
get Shane Byrne.
Yeah, Shane. At least then I feel good about myself for a little bit. At least I'm not last again.
Get Rupert Moon in there. Mooney will be up for that.
That's true. Yeah. So that's what we've got in the pipeline.
I absolutely love it. I love the relentless nature of it. Gentlemen, it's so good to see you. So give us a last rallying call, Stu, for your fundraising and for the foundation.
It's not so much just rallying call. It's just, as Budge says and everybody says, just keep the awareness going as much as we can do to help and keep a smile on these guys' faces. Because I honestly can't believe the enthusiasm of people like Rob and Doddie when you see them on TV, what they're going through, and they're always smiling. So whatever pain we go through in these marathons or cycles, it's nothing compared to what they're doing. So it's an easy one. Keep the awareness going, keep the foundation, and donate, and hopefully help as much as we can.
Budgets, you probably just want a golf day, do you?
No, I hate bloody golf. A rubbish sport. Anybody involved in that sport?
I'm with you on that one, brother. I'm with you on that one. Never played around in my life, right? So, Budge, you and I need to get together and come up with a fundraiser, because you sound like you're talking my language here.
Sadly, I've already signed up to Stu's.
I can't imagine what that must be like. The swim would actually feel quite good when you're
no,
finished.
The swim is that I've already said swim. No, I sink. It's not a good look. It's not great.
But you know what, Bruce? He's got a Water Babies franchise. That's what he used to do, coach kids. You want your money back.
Do as I say, don't do as I do. Take that from a teacher. I take that from a PE teacher. Yeah, exactly. I'm with you on that one, Budge. Gentlemen, brilliant to see you. Thank you so much, and all the very best with the nonsense that you've got planned.
Thanks very much, Bruce.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you. Absolutely love it. Stuart Thom, what a force of nature, and he is able to get people to do things they really don't want to do, but it's all in the name of My Name'5 Doddie and the foundation raising money and awareness to try and get a cure for this thing called motor neuron disease. If you can support, please get involved. Click the link, pay some money, follow it on social media, and just get involved. Anything you can do is very much appreciated. I hope you've enjoyed it. You can listen on Apple and Spotify. You can watch on Facebook and YouTube. Go back and look at the previous Doddie episodes, and I hope there will be many, many more to come. In the meantime, my name is Bruce Aitchison, and my happiness is egg-shaped. Stay very, very safe, and I look forward to speaking to you again very soon.